Hello everyone, welcome back to another Overthrow Disc Golf video. Almost 3 years ago, Josh and I started Overthrow Disc Golf, and this is what my form looked like. So yeah, I mean, pretty dang good, but it's definitely gotten better. And if there's anyone out there that has completely and fully bought into Josh's coaching, it's gotta be me. From the very beginning, I had no other coach except for Josh. Of course, when editing videos, I get to watch the video over and over and over again. So a lot of that stuff sticks in my head, and I go out and I am able to work on those things. Alongside of that, Josh is good about answering pretty much any question I have about form and is willing to work with me pretty much at any point on my form as well. And so that has all led to my current form and feeling really, really good about my disc golf game and my disc golf stats. And a big help in that has been the tech disc. This thing has really just been a big game changer. It's enabled me to really nail down some things that help my throws, and being able to see the stats really helps me get that positive affirmation of the things that I'm doing well. And alongside Josh, it's just a dream team of a setup. So pretty much every day I get to reap the benefits of a good coach and good technology. All that to say, I think my throw is getting to the point where it may or may not be at a professional level, and that's part of the reason I'm making this video, is to see. And luckily for me, we have pro stats to look at. Michael with Tech Disc has set up at 2 tournaments, the OTB Open, and he's currently at Worlds right now. He has a booth. Pros are going and using Tech Disc to see what type of stats they're putting up. And luckily for all of us, we have access to those stats, which means I'm gonna need to do a little research. Okay, so first things first, I need to zoom in. First things first, I need to contact Michael over at Tech Disc and get a little bit of information, because I thought to myself, are these pros that are throwing the Tech Disc, are they warming up? Are they trying to throw fast? Are they trying to throw as fast as possible? So that we can get a little bit of information from someone who's on the ground and can verify these things for us. So I need to text Michael. Okay, just heard back from Michael, and here is what Michael is saying about these pros who are throwing at his booth. So now that we know that these pros are throwing hard and/or max distance with the Tech Disc, I think it's safe to say that we can look at these numbers objectively. But first, I'm curious to see how these numbers stack up compared to the numbers we saw on the radar gun at USDGC distance competition. So here's a couple clips of the pros who are throwing really far at USDGC 2022 distance comp. Okay, so we've got all of the throws here so far from Worlds. Some people that I'm interested in looking at are Anthony Barella, Kevin Jones, Mason Ford, Brody Smith. Definitely want to take a look at his. Silas Schultz, and Chandler Fry. Okay, so here's the deal. My research is going to go like this. I'm going to look at Worlds throws, and I'm going to look at the OTB Open throws as well. I'm going to get a feel for what a good average distance throw for these guys would look like and some of those stats. And then I'm going to get a number that I'm going to try to hit for speed. I'm going to get a number that I'm going to try to hit for spin. I'm going to get a number that I'm going to try to hit for nose angle. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to test to see, can I hit those numbers? Okay, first off, let's take a look at Chandler Fry. He threw a couple of shots, it looks like here. My boy Chandler, I actually got to go on a Paul McBeth Foundation trip with Chandler, and he low-key bombs. He's got some really underrated distance, so I am not surprised to see that he threw only a couple shots, one at 71 miles an hour, one at 67 miles an hour, and the spin rate there is very respectable, close to 1200 spin for both. Nose angle, we know that the best nose angle is -4 degrees. There was some sort of study done on that. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be pros that do not hit that and still throw extremely far. I think Chandler is one of those guys. So that's Chandler. Let's take a look at Aiden Scott. Seems to put up some really good numbers here. So let's take a look. 68 miles an hour. You know, let's check all these and create an analysis set, see what his average is. So 67.1, 1343 with a positive 2.6 nose angle. So definitely some good stats on the speed and spin side of things. Next, we're going to take a look at Brody Smith. Just taking a glance, I was not expecting that Brody was putting up these sorts of numbers. Let me take his fastest, I guess we'll do 6 here. Let's take his fastest 6 and see what he's averaging, because these are really impressive numbers from Brody. Average of 74 miles an hour, 1458 spin, -3.4 nose angle. Brody's throwing, y'all. These are really good stats. And I think as we look at some of the other bombers, we will see that these stats are pretty elite. Let's go to Mason Ford. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a bomber, but Mason Ford is a great disc golfer. He might not be winning distance competitions, but he's definitely a super solid player. So let's just focus on these backhands here. He threw 4 backhands. He may or may not, well, with spin like that, he's definitely throwing. So his average speed, 62.5, 1369 spin, nose angle close to 0 degrees, which is flat. It's respectable. All right, moving on to Silas Schultz. I guarantee you this man's throwing hard. This guy, I feel like Silas is very underrated bomber. Judging from these numbers, let me just go ahead and click all of these and create an analysis set. His average speed, 73.2, average spin, 1300 basically, and nose angle looks really respectable for an average of like 10 throws there. Or how many throws is that? 7 throws. I'm definitely impressed with the stats from Silas. He throws very far. Kevin Jones is definitely a new face to Tech Disc. He's tried it out for the first time here at Worlds, so seeing his couple of throws, his couple of stats is going to be cool to look at. So let's see. I'm just going to take his 2. Whoa. Okay. So Kevin's throwing fast, 72.6 with 1500 average spin. There's only 2 throws, mind you, so you don't even know if he's warmed up or not at this point. And yeah, he definitely throws faster than I was expecting. I don't know why. That this is surprising to me. I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, yeah, of course he bombs. Gannon Burr. This man can crush. We know that for a fact. I'm going to get his top throws in here. Let me just check these top ones here. I'll do the top 5 and create an analysis set. And these are going to be the ones that he's really pushing the limits. He threw 33 shots, and Michael specifically told me that when he was throwing these shots, he was messing around with a bunch of stuff for, half the time. But he did say that Gannon was going for his top stats for a handful of throws. So I'm going to say his handful of throws were these top 5. I think that's a safe bet to say out of 33 throws. Looking at Gannon's stats, what's really popping out to me is his spin rate, especially this max spin being 1642. That's got to be some sort of record for a backhand. The speed being like kind of right at 70 does not surprise me as well. He throws really hard. So I think it's safe to say 70 miles an hour is really hard, and especially when you're throwing with a spin rate that is that high, because typically if your spin rate is higher, your speed is not going to be as high. Looking at some of the other pros, we can see that theme. And nose angle looks good. At least the average looks good. As I said, Anthony Varela threw a few shots back at OTB, and these were the stats he was putting up. I just want to take a look at the top 4 throws from him. I only want backhands in there. Okay, here we go. 74.3 miles an hour and 1375. So as we all know, Anthony throws ridiculously far. I've seen him throw a putter, a Luna, 475 feet at USDGC last year. I was literally right there with him, with Paul. He throws very, very far. So just out of curiosity, I wanted to see Ella Hansen. She bombs. She throws really far. And looks like her stats. Let me get some of her better throws here. Let's get her top few throws and create an analysis set. Just looking at the FPO side of things, Ella won the USDGC distance comp for FPO, and you can see why. For FPO, almost 60 miles an hour and 1300 spin rate. Nose angle looks pretty good. All of this is just researching the pros, and a lot of you guys are seeing other pros here that you're interested in. Well, congratulations. You can go over to Tech Disc yourself and be able to see all of these throws just like I'm looking at here. Okay, so I've got a couple numbers in my head that I think would be respectable, professional level distance throwing numbers. And then there's a number in my head that would be just an average pros numbers that I'm not necessarily able to take a look at here because I'm focusing more on the people that throw far and that throw hard. But there's definitely another tier of pros that I'm not even looking at. It's not the big bombers, the guys that throw really hard and really far. And if you guys want to see their stats, feel free. If you know one of these people, I'm not too familiar with every pro on this list, but if you want to take a look and see what their stats are, feel free to go and do so. But it's time. I need a warm up and I got to get throwing because I want to see where I stack up against these pros. Here are the numbers that I personally want to hit. 70 miles an hour for speed. I really don't expect to throw 75 plus like these guys are doing, like AB, Brody Smith, and even taking a look at Kevin Jones, like his 71 to 73. If I hit those numbers, I would feel pretty incredible. Honestly, I would feel really, really good to hit those numbers. But I'm going to shoot for 70 miles an hour for speed. And spin is tricky. I saw quite a range of spin, but I'm going to say it's safe to say 1300 to 1400 spin would be something that looks similar to these pros, these elite distance throwing pros. And of course, I'm always going to be shooting for that 4 degrees down nose angle, but I think I'm going to focus more on speed and spin. Let's get warming up. I'm going to warm up, get, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 shots in, and then I'm going to get these stats flowing. And hopefully I can work my way up to 70 miles an hour, 13 to 1400 spin, and -4 nose angle. Okay, let's throw these putters. Sorry for throwing y'all's putters. Time to get into my actual throws with the Tech Disc. I'm definitely more nervous about this than I should be. But you know what? Let's just ride those nerves all the way to some fast throws. Nerves can't stop me, no. Okay. Yeah, good. That's a good start. 65 miles an hour, 1479 spin rate. Usually when I had a spin rate that high, my speed is definitely not as fast. But yeah, spin rate wise, very happy with that. Okay. So as we saw, my speed increased a little bit there and my spin decreased. Very normal, nose angle. Not bad. Definitely not as good as I want it, but okay. These are not the shoes to be wearing for this. Just as a heads up. Hey, 70, baby. Woo! Okay. So I've hit 70 with a good nose angle within the range of the spin I was looking for. Let's see if I can do that multiple times. Okay. Definitely giving some good brace efforts. Okay, 70 again. Good nose angle, good spin. Let's do one more, just in case it was luck. Ah! Sorry, I forgot about the yelling thing. I was totally throwing better when I yelled. Does yelling help? Whoa, back to 70. Okay, let's go back to the computer and plug in some of these throws. We're gonna take a look at some final statistics here. As you guys saw, I did in fact hit my goal of 70 miles an hour. I did in fact hit my goal of 13 to 1400 spin rate. And I'm guessing that I definitely hit my nose angle goals as well. Here we go. Here's today's stats. So let me just pick a couple of my better stats, just like I did for the other pros. Today, starting from 11. So we had 3 at 70. And then let's throw in the 69s in there as well today. So taking a look at the final stats for my better throws over, I guess these are 6 of my better throws today. I had a average speed of 69.8, a spin rate of 1392, cumulative nose angle of negative 2.7, which is very good. One of the better ones I've seen, and that would probably explain why I'm able to throw as far as I do. Okay, so this brings me to some conclusions. First conclusion is I've come a long way from where I started 3 years ago to where I am today. I would in fact consider myself someone who is able to put up pro level statistics on the tech disc. You can come up with your own conclusions, feel free. 70 miles an hour is very fast. My other conclusions are this. I could not have done any of this without Josh, my coach, and hopefully a lot of y'all's coach as well. Josh does not have very many opportunities, nor should he really brag on himself all that much. And that's why I'm here. I've been working with Josh for over 7 years now. I was able to see him start from a tennis pro. We both were tennis instructors, all the way up to now being a very astute, diligent, intelligent disc golf coach, someone who's willing to learn and grow. And because of that, I've been able to learn and grow alongside him and implement all of this knowledge that he has to share. The main reason I wanted to do this was to show what does it look like for someone to go all in with Josh's coaching, starting with Josh all the way up to current Josh, how he currently coaches. What does it look like? Is it feasible that Josh could coach someone to a professional level? I still have some ways to go before achieving perfect form. And so I see myself improving these stats over time, and I'm able to throw professional level stats. I think rather conclusively so. It's nice that I've got Tech Disc able to back this up. I personally have grown tremendously with Josh on his journey to becoming a better coach. So yeah, honestly, just wanted to brag on my business partner, wanted to brag on my coach publicly, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow, continuing to improve my form. And it's nice that I get to do this every day. I legitimately get to work on form probably more than most people get to. So yeah. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in lessons and you want to end up throwing like me, no, I'm joking. If you guys are interested in lessons, I'm going to leave the Patreon link here, also in the description below. And if you're interested in getting a tech disc, it's an absolutely overpowered combo to have Josh as your coach and tech disc. Thank you, Josh, for all that you do, putting in all the hours every single day, the amount of coaching hours and the research hours, the hours you spend talking with other coaches to help increase your knowledge base so that people like me can benefit. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Peace out.